Liverpool started preseason with two teenagers at centre-back, not because of tactics, but because they simply had no other choice. Joe Gomez is now injured. Jeremy Jacquet is still being carefully managed. Jovani Leone isn't fully fit yet again. So the Iraola has literally no other senior centre-back available other than Virgil van Dijk. So of course the names are flying. Konsa, Zabarni, Van de Ven, Bastoni. 10 different players linked with 10 different price tags and with 10 different opinions on who fixes this. We're gonna go on every single one of them, but I believe Liverpool don't need the best available defender, they need the best squad building option. And once you understand this, you understand why Liverpool aren't panicking on the market and why Liverpool probably are targeting one specific option. So stick around because I'm ranking every single one of them from absolute fantasy to the one that solves actually two problems in the team, because there is also a problem at that right back row. So let's get into it. We start strong with a defender that has been linked to Liverpool the whole summer in Ilya Zabarni. Of course, a defender that we know from the Premier League. Here we've seen him in that last season before moving to PSG, where he had a monstrous season. He was linked to a team like Tottenham. He was linked also to Liverpool before PSG buying him for 60 million. And his first season in Ligue 1 was pretty deceiving. He was viewed as the alternative to Marquinhos, but let's be honest, he hasn't quite fully replaced Marquinhos, and it's a difficult task to replace also the captain of PSG, a player who has played there for 11-12 years, who represents everything about PSG. So Ilya Zabarni hasn't lived up to the expectation. There is also the famous problems with Safonov, who's Russian, also in the team, but as a defender, we're talking about a defender that is incredible aerially, so he's aerial dominant, he is extremely physical, he has a good recovery pace. I can say he fits exactly in what Andoni Iraola wants, because again, he was great at Bournemouth under Andoni Iraola. So this wouldn't be a stupid move. Honestly, I think would be a great fit, especially that there is rumors that he would be authorized to leave on a loan. I doubt that PSG would just abandon on him after just one season. But let's be honest, I have seen a lot of mistakes from him last season. Again, I doubt a bit about the potential. The price will be the deciding. If it's a loan move with an option to buy or just a simple loan, then why not? But I'd argue that he will be the one. So for me, by the way, I'll class every single one of them in great fit, the ones that I think are great fit. And at the end, I'll promote the player that I think fixes the issues that Liverpool need, okay? So the other option that we've been highly linked to is Fikayo Tomori. Fikayo Tomori, I actually think is a great defender. Of course, he is already homegrown since he comes from Chelsea Academy. He knows the Premier League very well. He's played in the Premier League. He's playing in a back three. He has a good pace. He's strong, physically dominant, and I think Serie A maybe helped him toughen up. But let's be honest, he's never become the defender that he was supposed to become. The rock solid we saw at Chelsea, how he was, and on his beginnings in the Premier League, he was regarded as one of the future best English defender. Now he's not even selected in an English team at the World Cup. So I don't know, Fikayo Tomori for the right price, honestly, I wouldn't mind it. But again, it's so similar to a profile like Joe Gomez, for example, another profile that Liverpool already have. By the way, Liverpool fans, you will hate me for this, but I don't actually think that this situation is as catastrophic as Liverpool fans make it out. Like, yes, Liverpool only have Virgil van Dijk, but Jeremy Jacquet is coming back and will be in training before the first game against Newcastle. Jovani Leone will also be back at that time. Liverpool also have a player like Joe Gomez who will be back also maybe after Newcastle. We also have young players like Mor Ndiaye, the Senegalese defender who has shown great promise. We have a player like Luke Chambers who has been incredible during preseason. So Liverpool have options. So you can't just buy a name just to fill in this role, but don't think about the future, because Liverpool also have to plan their squad accordingly. What if you buy a defender, for example, let's say a player like Mickey van de Ven that we're going to talk about, you buy him for 60 million, but then you block the pathway for example, an Ifai and Dukwe that you signed. So it doesn't make sense to just buying a name to fill in the role. So that's why Fikayo Tomori, for me, it would be a nah. Yes, it would serve us directly, but no, because he's turning 29 years old, and honestly, I don't see a generational defender in him. Another defender that Liverpool have been highly linked to in the recent times is Nico Schlotterberg. The rumors can't stop with Nico Schlotterberg. And honestly, I understand it, because maybe we're talking about the best ball playing defender around. We've seen how we saw his importance at the World Cup for Germany. The German national team defense with or without him wasn't simply the same, you know. He is so extremely comfortable with the ball building back, diagonals. He's quite fast, extremely physical, wins his duels. For me, he's almost a complete defender. For me, I view him as the Van Dijk successor. Honestly, at the right price, I think Nico Schlotterberg, you can't really go wrong. But the issue, again, he just extended his contract this summer. So to buy him, it would need a ridiculous fee. I don't see Liverpool spending 80 million this summer on a defender. A player that has also been linked by some media is Jed Spence. Jed Spence, because he is on the move from Tottenham. De Zerbi apparently doesn't view him as an option for his fullback role this season. So Tottenham wants to sell, and I've seen a fee around 40 million. If that's true, that's a bargain for a player like Jed Spence. We've seen a player that is extremely physical, a player that is extremely tenacious. Seen his performances, for example, against Argentina defensively. Again, I think he's one of the best in the Premier League, and going up, I think he's a bit underrated in his game. I think this is a player that has that pace to go up. And what I like about Jed Spence is that he covers the two positions. He covers the left back row and he covers the right back row. So Jed Spence, for a good fit, I think that would be a great fit. Honestly, even if he doesn't cover the center back row, I think he serves in a role that, again, Liverpool quite need right now, because again, they have only Calvin Ramsey as their only right back. Frimpong is also another option, but again, I've heard rumors that he's injured after that game against Leeds, and also just in general, Frimpong, since he arrived at Liverpool, injuries are part of his story. And I've seen also that he's viewed as a right wing option. I hope that's false, but he's viewed as a right wing option. If that's true, then you only have one right back, and it's Calvin Ramsey, who has no Premier League experience at all. So Jed Spence would cover that right back row and would cover the left back row if Liverpool don't keep Kostas Tsimikas. So for me, Jed Spence, again, he's a great fit for a reason. The other player that we've been highly linked to in the last transfer windows, and I've seen some rumors coming up in this transfer window, is Levi Colwill. First of all, Chelsea fans will tell me, yeah, Levi Colwill is untouchable, but I think in this Chelsea project, everyone is sellable at the right fit. That's the model that Todd Boehly has brought at Chelsea. And Levi Colwill, especially him, he's coming back from an ACL injury. Yes, the potential is huge. For me, honestly, as a Premier League follower, as someone who follows Premier League often, I've loved what I've seen from Levi Colwill at Brighton. For me, he's the left-footed defender dream that I would have at Liverpool. For me, I see him as the perfect left-footed dream. Home ground, great passer on the ball. He's calm for his age. The composure he has defending. Again, the sitting is huge. For me, Levi Colwill, I see him as the next best English centre-back. Yes, that's how I rate Levi Colwill. And at the right price, I think Liverpool should jump on him automatically. But let's be honest, Chelsea won't strengthen Liverpool, especially at this late window. So I don't think that this is something that will happen. I think it's unrealistic. But if that would have been the case, if there is an opportunity, you jump straight to Levi Colwill. Another English young centre-back I see partnering Levi Colwill in the future is actually Jarell Quansah. Jarell Quansah, we're talking about a defender that, again, is so promising. We're talking about a defender, again, in terms of ball carrying, ball progression, I think he's the best English centre-back to do it. That's why also he played as a right back at the World Cup. He's so young again, but again, he's so mature in his performances. I think he fits a team like under Antonio Raiola. He has that natural pace to cover. He wants to take the ball and advance it. He has, again, that ball playing ability that is so underrated. For me, I've never understood why we sold Jarell Quansah rather than loaning him, because again, he is the perfect center back for the future. But let's be honest, his release clause, his buyback clause from Leverkusen just activates this summer 2027. So this summer you'd have to negotiate with Leverkusen, and I don't think that they would give you Jarell Quansah for under at least 80 million with the fee that we're seeing in this current transfer window. I don't see it happening that easy. So this is a defender that you can buy next summer for quite less. I think it's 60 million the buyback clause. So I'd put him in great fit, because again, I still think he's destined to Liverpool. I see him coming back in the future, but I'd wait for next summer at the right price, you know. A defender that I think that would make sense is Joel Ordonez. Joel Ordonez is fast, physical, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He doesn't just have huge experience in European football because he just played Champions League this season with Club Brugge for the first time. Yes, his experience is more in the Belgian league, but he's also played at the World Cup with that great Ecuador team. So I think there is potential, there is a huge ceiling in Joel Ordonez. But one thing about Joel Ordonez and one thing about also the other young defenders I have a problem is that you already have two young defenders to develop in Jovani Leoni and Jeremy Jacquet. You also have Ilfay Ndukwe and Mortal Ndiaye, the Senegalese defender, in the academy. So you have a lot of projects to develop as defenders. So adding in a fifth defender, I don't think that that's the right choice. I really think that once also Virgil van Dijk moves, he'll need defenders that are ready to take over. And Joel Ordonez, yes, in 3-4 years, he might be one of the best center backs in Europe. That's true. But I don't think that Liverpool needs this profile. A profile that Liverpool would need and would cry out is Alessandro Bastoni. Probably one of the best ball playing center back. Honestly, the most maybe comfortable center back in possession. Alessandro Bastoni, again, huge experience in Europe. He's still relatively young for a defender with his experience, left-footed. So the best passer on the ball in Alessandro Bastoni. So composed. This is a player that can dictate attacks. Honestly, I think he's a dream of many coaches. But the problem is that Inter Milan have no reason to sell. And at this time of the window in August, I don't see him leaving Inter. And I also have doubts of him moving from the Serie A. I have doubts. If there is Serie A fans that follow the channel, maybe let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see him struggling after leaving the Serie A because it will be another type of defending, you know. So for me, I'll put him in unrealistic because again, Inter Milan have no reason to sell. Why would they sell at this time of the window? So yeah, it makes no sense. A defender that we have been highly linked to is Ezri Konsa. And Konsa, if you follow the Premier League, you know what you get. We're talking about a defender that is elite in 1v1 defending. We're talking about a defender that has one of the best recovery pace in England. We're talking about a defender that also wins you duels constantly. I think at the right fit, he's a great fit. Can play center back, can play also right back. The issue is with Villa. I'm not sure that Villa would sell, but Villa know the problem that they have with the PSR issues. So for me, probably at the right fee, they sell. So if you can get Ezri Konsa for 50-ish million, I think it would be a great fit. Especially because, again, you don't want to go up higher than that because of the age. He's turning 29 this year, so it doesn't make sense to buy him for 80-90 million. But if it's a reasonable fee, I think it makes sense. Again, the defender that makes the most sense maybe is Gerard Doué. Again, I've made a video about Gerard Doué and why I think he is a great option for Liverpool. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it, because again, I'll repeat myself a bit for it, but we're talking about maybe one of the best opportunities on the market right now. We're talking about a player that can play right back and center back at a high level. Talking about a player that gives Iraola that tactical flexibility. He can play in a back three, can play as a wing back, can play as a full back. He covers the injuries immediately. The injury of Conor Bradley, for example, the injury of Joe Gomez in defense right away. He is athletic enough, again, to play in a high line, to cover the high line. He has that pace to cover. He is also extremely physical, wins a lot of duels going offensively. He's really good on the ball. He is the Doué brother. So technically, trust me, he is comfortable on the ball with the ball on his feet. And one thing about Gerard Doué is that he won't cost you a fortune. You know, this is not the defender that will cost you 60-70 million. No, yes, I know that Strasbourg are managed by Chelsea, so they will ask a fee, but the fee I've seen is around 40-45 million. For a player like Gerard Doué at that age and with that kind of profile, for me, I still think it's a bargain this summer. So for me, he jumps straight into great fit. A player I think that would have been a great fit also, it's Mickey van de Ven. If this was Football Manager, he would be already in the one directly. He would be the one automatically. But the real answer is that Mickey van de Ven this summer is unrealistic, okay? Because we're talking about a player that the Serbi want absolutely to keep. Fabrizio Romano has said it. Mickey van de Ven will go nowhere. If in an ideal world, of course, in an ideal world, we're talking about a player that has an insane recovery pace, maybe the player with the most pace in this list. We're talking about a great defender, 1v1, a player that can also cover the left back row if needed. Premier League proven. Liverpool fan also, it's also important because again, I think you'd jump on the opportunity to join Liverpool if that happened. But again, the fee that Tottenham would ask this late in the window, with Liverpool spending also approximately 100 million plus on Barcola, this is just unrealistic. I don't see him moving from Tottenham this summer. Maybe in the future that's an opportunity that would happen. So the defenders that I have in great fit will be Ilya Zabani. If it's true that PSG wanna let him live on a loan, I think that would be an opportunity. There is Jet Spence, of course, but I would have ideally put him in the one automatically. But the problem with Jet Spence is that he doesn't cover the center back role. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can play there and be good at it, but he's not a center back option. And Liverpool, I still think they need maybe a center back or player that can also fill in that role if needed. You know, there is Jarell Quansah. Objectively, I've said that Jarell Quansah is the player that you buy in the future. He is the heir to Virgil van Dijk in 2027, not this summer. Don't think it's worth it going and paying 80 million. You can get him for example, 60 million next summer. You know, I know that Liverpool fans don't agree because they want players right now, but in terms of squad building, it makes no sense. In terms of business wise also, it makes no sense of going and negotiating with the Leverkusen when you can go and buy him without negotiating. Ezri Konsa, I think for me, he would be a high contender for the one, but it plays on the price and it plays on also the long-term planning. For me, the one is simply Gera Doué. I've made a video about Gera Doué. If you haven't watched, go watch him. You understand why he is the defender that solves Liverpool defensive problems. And guys, for me, what do you think about this series? For me, I really think that, you know, that's the defender Liverpool should go on. I hope they don't sleep around too long because again, there's other top teams that would probably like a player like Gera Doué. I think he can fit in a team like, for example, Manchester City. I think even Barcelona, if they decide to move on Jules Koundé, that's a player that can fix their issues. So guys, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make me know it by liking and subscribing for more football content. And we'll be back for more Liverpool transfer news this window. So